What is the best response to, "I don't date short guys"? When on Tinder, I wrote my height because I know women have preferences, and some dudes will ridicule the tall woman, short man relationship. When I matched with taller women who also wrote their heights, I would always ask if they were ready for this kind of long-distance relationship. They always responded with a laugh, and if they didn't want to date, no hard feelings, they don't owe me anything. Short guy here, I'm 5'4". I used to get rejected by taller girls a lot. My favorite way to deal with it was just to say thanks for being honest. For some reason, they would later introduce me to their friends who were maybe my height or something. A lot of them said that when you handle it like an adult, it's very attractive, and while they might not like short dudes, they def have a few friends who do. And #X200B, worth a try. Bite her knees. Laugh loudly, disappear with the use of smoke bomb. Okay. No response. These are not the kind of girls you want to be dating. They are doing you a favor and showing you their true colors right away. No response. Just leave, walk away, edit the editing, alternatively. When dealing with trolls, trouble starters, hit stirrers, crazy people, no response. Just leave, walk away, winking face. Not the same, but I once worked with a girl who said, "I only date hunks." I asked her, "Hunks of what?" "Me neither." What's a modern-day poison people willingly ingest? 24-hour news cycle. Alcohol. Those shorts videos that now are almost in every platform. If you have problems with focus and getting hit done, then you know that if you keep watching them, you might end up in the next day without even realizing you haven't done anything yet. Social media. Sips coffee, takes bong hit, doom scrolls Reddit *UCK, I can't think of any. Processed sugars. Energy drinks. That high fructose corn syrup. Social media. Soda. I used to drink it a lot. I had terrible health issues and sleep issues. I cut it all out, been maybe 2 years without it. I feel better, I'm sick less, I sleep better, and I function better overall. Just replace it with water. If you live in the Western world, you most likely have clean drinking water being pumped to your house. I don't believe on banning something because I don't like it, but I do think that hit is poison. It's also super addictive. The first couple weeks I get soda out was rough. Then we give this to kids and it screws up their systems. Alcohol and nicotine. Botox. Botulinum toxin, one of the most poisonous biological substances known. TikTok. An excess of almost anything, overly processed. Most people consume too much meat, too much sugar, too much salt, too much saturated fat, too much caffeine, too many nitrates, nitrites, etc., etc. I try to eat relatively healthy, but even I definitely consume too much sugar and too much caffeine. It's so hard to stop once you're used to it. Processed foods are pretty addictive and IT scary. Edit. I'm aware that not all types of processing are inherently bad. This is not a scientific forum. It's an askreddit thread, and I'm sure most people know exactly which kind of processing I mean by that.
You witness someone stealing food while you're grocery shopping. What do? Dunno what you're talking about. I saw nothing. Mind my own AMN business. Pray that their children sleep with full bellies and smiles. And that their situation switches to positive. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Ask the nearest store employee to help me find something on the opposite side of the store. Ain't nobody out there filching food for fun. And #X200B. Edits for the foolish. Please learn when an absolute is an exaggeration. We're not talking about celebrities stealing for kicks. We're not talking about teenagers stealing 4 Locos and tacos. Y'all are exhausting. Not a oddamn thing. Shop local. Steal corporate. Totally happened to me several years ago. I was with my daughter, 7 at the time, and we were at the checkout. This is at one of the old school grocery stores where they still have a guy who bags all your things and puts them in a buggy. While the cashier was scanning things, I noticed the bagger, an elderly man probably around 70-something, take a handful of the grapes I bought and slip some into his pocket. For a moment I was a bit bewildered since they had been weighed and now I'm short like half a bunch of grapes. I didn't say anything. The whole time I'm walking to my car, I'm having this internal debate about whether I should inform management or not. I probably sat in my car for the longest thinking about it. I decided to store manager and inquire about that particular employee and said I was concerned that he might not be eating lunch or have enough food at home without mentioning him stealing my grapes. Turns out I was right. Post phone call, the manager followed up with me later and the guy was literally having to choose his medication over eating. Someone in HRWA is able to help him out with affording it and he got a nice little bonus. Former grocery store manager here, depends on what they're stealing. Are they stealing an entire cart full of non-necessities? Alcohol, junk food, cosmetics, etc. Yeah, I'm gonna call the cops. Andy will press charges. Are they stealing vegetables, basic meats, and pantry staples? Yeah, I didn't see hit. Wouldn't allow any of my employees to see anything either. On several occasions, I would coupon out some of the regulars who I knew were struggling to make ends meet. I regularly let employees take food home as long as they weren't purposely creating waste in order to take it home. I was in charge of security for literally no one else even knew how to work the camera system, and it was an old system that didn't connect to corporate. If I didn't want it seen, it didn't happen. People need to eat. Mind my own business. When I worked as a supervisor at a grocery store, a woman asked to speak to a manager and I came over. She pulled me aside away from everyone and told me she consistently stole a lot of food from the store because she was in a bad place, and told me she's getting her life together and wanted to confess. She told me I could call the police if I felt that was necessary. I told her absolutely not, and she needs food more than the corporation needs money. And if stealing was the only way for her to eat, then she did what she had to do. She started to cry and thanked me. I'm forever glad that I was the one available to talk to her, and that I didn't get higher up leadership to deal with the situation. They are technically who we were supposed to call when someone asked for a manager. I hope she's okay. I think about her a lot. There has been one exception to me minding my own business, and it was when I worked at the same grocery store, different location, and this old man would come in, open up a granola bar, and eat it, while making aggressive eye contact with whatever employee was nearby. Hate that dude. He was weird. Silently judge based on the food being stolen. Do you think that waiting until you are married for X is a good idea? Why or why not? If you want to wait, go for it. But don't set yourself up for waiting until marriage, and then rush the marriage part just to get to the X. In times and places people did this, they were teenagers when they got married. Keep that in mind. Personally, I think it's good to wait a while before having X with someone to actually know them, but I wouldn't wait to be married. I think you should know the person that you are marrying on all aspect. 100% awful idea. Sexual compatibility is extremely important to any healthy relationship. What other aspect of compatibility would we dream of asking this about? Imagine. Having compatible humor will get you through those rocky times, so don't tell any jokes until your wedding night, for the anticipation. Shared interests can be the backbone of our relationship. Make sure not to do anything together, so it can be a delightful surprise on your wedding night if you both like rock climbing. Communication is important to a happy marriage. Make sure not to talk before the wedding because that will keep the sanctity of talking alive. No. We waited and we were not compatible. Eventually, he cheated and we got divorced. Also, being compatible sexually is not a reason to get married either. No. Not saying you should *UCK everyone that propositions you, but you should make sure you are compatible with someone before marrying them. Too many people find out too late they can't stand someone's actual personality. Things change after *X, people calm down and get real, they stop being on their best behavior. Get to know the person before you marry an intolerable *SS hole. I would say it's not about waiting until you are married but waiting until it is right for both of you. That's the key point that a lot of people get wrong. They get to it for reasons other than it being right or feeling right. So if your belief is that you should have committed to a marriage, then that is what is going to feel right for you. It could also be that within hours, or even minutes, you can feel that it is right for you. Don't judge the duration, judge the feeling that you have. Let's put it this way. X predates marriage beyonds. X is nature. You don't want to get married and find out the *X sucks *SS. You should at least figure that out before marriage.
What profession do you find unhealthy? I imagine trucking comes with a lot of problems. African cobalt miner. Construction. Breathing in all kinds of dust all day, working in weird positions, heavy lifting, loud, dangerous tools and so on. A lot of them. You think the people unloading trucks for a big box store are taking care of their knees and backs? EMT. Those hours are unbelievable. Welding, did that for 15 years. Breathing in toxic fumes all day, sneeze into a Kleenex and it would be black. Farmers. My dad was exposed to toxic herbicides, pesticide sand. His doctors attributed his terminal stomach cancer to his decades of exposure. Healthcare workers. We care for others who are sick but can't take care of ourselves. Healthcare workers. Chronic lack of sleep due to understaffing, potentially combative patients, various communicable diseases, sometimes threats from patients, their families. Bartending. There are so many alcoholics on both sides of the bar you become friends with. It can be difficult to keep yourself in check. The military.